What's up, guys, and welcome back into Breaking Boards. In today's episode, we're going to discuss Thursday Night Football's showdown contest between the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. This game total currently sits at 42.5, with the implied team total for Pittsburgh being 23.5, and the implied team total for Cincinnati being 17.5. Glad you all could join me for the player-by-player breakdown for Thursday Night Football. Before we jump into it, appreciate you guys being here. If you want and if you desire more NFL content, there is going to be a QR code on your screen that will take you over to my site, breakingboardsdfs.com. There are packages and plans available. Go check those out if you are interested in additional contest information for showdown contests, for main slate contests for the NFL over on DraftKings. I'll also pop the link to the site down in the video description. Again, I appreciate you guys being here, and without further ado, let's jump into today's breakdown. Taking a 30,000-foot view of the slate, not one of my favorite slates of the year. I think this is going to be another one of those games, much like last week where it's just slow and low. This game probably ends up in that 21-20, 21-17 range, in my opinion. I think from a cash perspective, as we're talking about the amount of salary that you can spend for Thursday night's contest, I think it's wide open. You can leave any amount on the table. You can spend your entire salary. Just make sure that you're fitting your lineup for your contest and not your contest that needs a lineup. I hope that makes sense. Play it back if you need to, and I'll run it back one more time. Make sure you are playing your lineup for your contest and not your contest that needs a lineup. Think about that a little more and let that soak in, and I think that'll help you in your DFS process. Also, as far as roster construction, I don't think I'm going to get to many 5-1 builds. I will have a few on each side if I play 150 sets, but I'm leaning toward playing 3 max, maybe 20 max on Thursday night. So I won't be getting to many 5-1 builds, if any. I don't mind getting to 4-2 on either side. And I also don't mind getting to 3-3s or 2-4s, flipping those 4-2 builds that we just talked about. So don't mind that roster construction at all. Again, predominantly, I'm going to be looking at playing single entry 3 max, maybe the 20 max sets for Thursday night. Don't love this game before we get into it, but just wanted to let you guys know where I stood on it. As we take a look over at the Pittsburgh Steelers side, up top you have Aaron Rodgers. If you have Rodgers in your captain spot, you can pair him alongside DK, Jalen Warren. I'm going to assume that Calvin Austin is out again this week. He was out last week and missed practice on Monday. So assuming he's out, and that's how we're going to treat it for this video. If he ends up in, you can mix him in the flex spot. I will not have any captain on him. But going back to it here, you can include Gainwell as well. You can include Boswell, the kicker. You can include Jonnu Smith, Freiermuth, to a lesser extent, Caleb Johnson, Darnell Washington. If Austin is out, you can include Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller, Connor Hayward, who caught a touchdown last week, Ben Skoranek, who was seeing quite a ton of snaps in week number 6. You can also include Keyshawn Williams, who got on the field last week as well. So you want to make sure, I set a group for my Roger captains. I wanted to make sure I got at least 2 pass catchers, running backs, or kickers in those lineups. So make sure you're creating your groups as you head into Thursday Night Football. But that would be the players that I would mix and match around my Rodgers captain ownership. If you want specific projections and ownership, you can go over to the site. Again, if you purchase the rookie package, you get the showdown breakdown, which will give you an idea of what plays I'm on. If you purchase the pro tier, you get the complete projection sheet for Thursday night. You'll get all the information, my notes, and everything on the slate. Heading over to the running back position for Pittsburgh, Jalen Warren. You have Kenny Gainwell, and to a lesser extent, Caleb Johnson. Johnson would be a dart throw for me in large field tournaments. Again, I predominantly won't be playing them for this contest. Kenny Gainwell will be someone I will look to match the field on. I don't mind getting to him 1% if you're playing your 150s in the cabinet spot, but predominantly he will be mixed in the flex for me on Thursday. When Jalen Warren was out, he put up that monster game, 31.4, but otherwise he's been adequate for his price for Thursday. Looking up top here, Jalen Warren, who saw the field again last week, I think he's just kind of getting back up to speed after missing, the bye in week 5 there. So hopefully he is back to full health and ready to go, and that's how I'm going to treat it on Thursday night. I will look to have him in the captain spot. If you have him up top, my favorite pairing options are DK, Jonnu, or Chris Boswell in a 2-4 build. So Warren up top, one of the guys we just mentioned, and then 4 from the Cincinnati side. If you are looking at wide receivers for Pittsburgh, my favorite one would be DK Metcalf. Again, we're going to assume Austin is out for this contest. If he ends up playing, you can mix him in the flex if you would like. You can also include Roman Wilson if Austin is out, Scotty Miller, and Ben Skoranek, and then to a lesser extent, Keyshawn Williams. Keyshawn Williams saw under 10% of snap shares in week number 6. Would be someone that if Austin is out, I would mix in as a dart throw in large field tournaments, but much, much, much prefer Ben Skoranek, who saw 44% of snaps in week number 6. So don't mind mixing him in a lot in the flex in lineups that you love that have $200 left over. Won't have any captain ownership on Skoranek or Williams. Scotty Miller, dart throw in large field. Prefer Skoranek, but Scotty Miller can catch a bomb every once in a while. Won't have any captain ownership on Scotty Miller, but again, we'll mix him in the flex. Same thing with Roman Wilson, as we just talked about with Scotty Miller. DK Metcalf would be my preferred play here at the wide receiver position for Pittsburgh. We'll have him mixed in the flex and in the captain spot. If you have him in the captain spot, make sure you are putting Aaron Rodgers in the flex in those lineups. Flipping over to the tight end position, you have Jonnu Smith, you have Pat Freiermuth, you have Darnell Washington, and you have Connor Hayward. Hayward and Washington are just spray and pray, baby. You put them in your lineup and you hope they catch a touchdown. If they don't, they're probably going to sink your lineup. But if they do, you're looking pretty decent. Hayward caught a touchdown last week, 8.2. If you get that at the $400 salary, you're cooking with Crisco. If you don't, he's going to sink your lineup. Darnell Washington caught one the week before, I believe. Nope, same week, apparently. No, he hasn't caught a touchdown this year. Maybe it got called back. Anyways, yeah, ended up putting up 9.2. Might as well call that a touchdown game for him. That's about as high as his ceiling goes. Again, if he gets in the box, sweet. If not, sorry, that lineup's dead. Freiermuth has played to start the season, right? 6-6, and then he just kind of disappeared. I think those other guys are starting to mix in a little more. So Freiermuth would not be a captain option for me. Sprinkle him in the flex if you're playing 150s. If I'm playing smaller fields, he's probably not going to make the cut, as I prefer Skoranek at $200. Jonnu Smith I like quite a bit in the captain spot and in the flex for Thursday night. Thursday night's game is going to be one of those ones where you're going to have to hit the nuts. Whoever ends up getting in the box, whoever scores the touchdowns, whoever gets peppered with targets, those are going to be the guys that you're going to need on this slate. Very few guys on this slate can break out for a huge score. Jonnu is one of those guys. I don't think it's going to happen, but if I had a 20 max set that I was building, I would have a Jonnu captain in there, but I would not have more than one Jonnu captain if I'm building 20 max. If I'm building 3 max, he's probably not making the cut in the captain spot. If I'm building 150s, he's probably in there at 2, 3, 4%. So don't mind mixing him in. If you do get Jonnu in the captain spot, put Rodgers in your flex. Next up, we have the kickers and the defense. My favorite play on the board for kickers and defenses, excuse me, is Steelers defense up top. Don't mind mixing them in the captain spot. Will probably be around 3-4%. If you want the actual numbers, go check out the sheet that we talked about on the site. Under the pro plan, will be significantly over the field in the flex on Steelers defense. They have balled out in the last few weeks. 10, 10, and 16. Nothing to be scared of against this Cincinnati offense that has not looked as good as it could have if Burrow was healthy. Next up, Chris Boswell. Again, has some upside. We'll mix him in the captain spot in large field tournaments, but will be significantly over the field in the flex. He is my second favorite kicker and defense flex play for Thursday night. If we flip on over to the Cincinnati side, up top at the QB position, you have, if I can get him in the right spot, Joe Flacco. You compare him with Chase, Higgins, Brown, McPherson, P. Ryan, Noah Fant, Yoshi Voss, Tanner Hudson if he plays. I'm going to assume he does not. Mitchell Tinsley, Drew Sample, Taj Brooks. Scrolling down a little bit more, if Charlie Jones plays, you can get him in there. And Cam Grandy if Tanner Hudson does sit. I would set a group for that set that would indicate that if I have Flacco up top, I would play at least 2 of those guys that we just mentioned in the flex spots. If you want to know, again, the exact ownership and everything like that, flip over to breakingboards@dfs.com. Looking at the running back position, you have Chase Brown, you have Samaje Perine, and to a much lesser extent, you have Taj Brooks. Brooks, dart throw, $200. Don't mind getting to a little bit of him if I were playing 150, but much prefer Skoranek. We'll have 0 captain of Taj Brooks. Samaje Perine is someone that I would mix and match into my lineups in the flex spots, would not have any in the captain spot. Don't mind getting to some Chase Brown up top. If I'm building a 20 max set, he's probably going to be 1 or 2 of those captain spots in those lineups. Again, if you have Chase Brown up top, I prefer getting to Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, or the kicker McPherson in the flex spots in those lineups and running back with a 2 Bengal 4 Steeler build there. Next up, at the wide receiver position, we have probably the best play on the slate, in my opinion. It would be Jamar Chase. You have T. Higgins. You have Andre Yoshivas, Mitchell Tinsley, Charlie Jones. Jones and Tinsley would be mix and match dart throws in large field tournaments. Do not feel good about either one of them. No captain ownership whatsoever. Yoshivas. If you have a lineup that you love that spends $50K and you have 2,800, he fits right in there. Sweet. Won't have any in the captain spot. We'll mix and match in the flex, but he's just kind of one of those plays. He can pop off, 10, 15 points at times, but most of the time you're getting that 1 to 3 range. So not someone that I'm looking to get over the field on or anything of that nature. Next up, T. Higgins. Been a little bit of a down year compared to last year for T. We'll mix him in the captain spot. If I'm building 20 max, he'll be one of those lineups. He can pop off at any point, but hasn't shown it so far this season. Did see 8 targets last week with Flacco at the helm in week number 6. If you have Higgins up top, make sure you're putting Wacko Flacco Flame in the flex spot. Same thing here with Jamar Chase. Can pop off at any moment, can let you down at any moment. I mean, it's just the roller coaster with Jamar Chase is amazing. Some weeks are really great. Some weeks you are thinking about hitting the trading wire if you are playing year long. But for Thursday night, he will be I think he's my second highest owned captain for Thursday night. If you have him up top, throw Flacco in your flex spot. One of my favorite plays on the board and sneaky, in my opinion, depending on the injuries and who is out, is going to be Noah Fant, Drew Sample, and then Cam Grandy. Grandy would be a large field dart throw at $200. Probably my second favorite to Skoranek. I will not have any of him in the captain spot. Drew Sample is someone at $600 that I would love if Tanner Hudson is out. Would mix him in the flex. May consider 1% captain ownership, maybe 1 or 2 lineups in the 150 set if I were building those. Noah Fant would be someone that if I'm building a 20 max set, he would be in the captain spot. Pretty decent showings here, but with Gesicki going on IR and Tanner Hudson possibly missing as well, a lot more targets to open up for Fant. And Flacco has shown in Cleveland that he loves feeding his tight ends, so don't mind in getting to Noah Fant in the captain spot. If you do have him up top, throw Flacco in your flex. Moving over to kickers and defenses, my third favorite kicker defense for the slate is going to be Evan McPherson. Has been kind of pedestrian to start the season, but again, could put up 8-10 points at any point. I would lean to say he probably does not, pop off for a huge game in the spot, as I do think Cincinnati is more than likely going to lose by a touchdown here. But you can mix and match him in as you see fit. Probably won't have any in the captain spot, but we'll look to be in that typical percentage, 8 to 20 to 25 in the flex. Bengals defense, least favorite of the kickers and defenses, not going to be high on them at all for Thursday night. If you want to mix them in, cool. There's just other plays I like on the board significantly more than I like Cincinnati's defense taking on Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers, who has cut back on his mistakes over the last few seasons. That's going to do it for today's breakdown. Glad you all could be here to join me along for the ride. Hopefully you got something out of the content. If you did, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, as I do cover every NFL slate throughout the NFL season over on DraftKings. Again, if you want to go check out the site, breakingboards.com, additional information over there as well. You will see an article that has pinned each pricing tier and what is included in that pricing tier. Go check that out. Also, Breaking Boards Discord is live. Breaking_boards DFS on Discord. Come check us out. Come chat. Come ask questions and come hang out. Again, I appreciate you all being here. I hope you guys take something down large on Thursday Night Football, and we'll see you guys in the next video.